Hey, it is your boy, Van Hill, formerly known as Klutch. I have two artists with me today for this last and third episode of The Direction of Hip Hop. Today we have a special show for you, so make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and introducing to the right of me, Tweezy29 from the OKC.
What's up with y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling?
And to the right of him, we also have another premier artist, Hustle, also from OKC.
I appreciate y'all having me on the platform, Hustle. What's up?
Today's podcast, we are on our third featurement on the direction of hip hop, and we thought we'd do something special today by bringing in two artists that boots are on the ground to, I guess, get a better understanding and perspective for the people watching. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. The last episode, I'm not sure if you guys were able to watch or anything, but we dove into female rap and the direction that's gone and where that's taken hip hop. We kind of, came on a common ground with your experience. I know you've had experience with female artists, and I have to ask, what has been your experience? Do you feel that the direction that a lot of our women are going today, do you feel like it is progressive or regressive to the brand of hip hop?
I think if you're thinking in an aspect of sales and marketing, then yeah, definitely like trying to make money. But I feel like overall the whole sex sales thing, it's slightly demeaning to women in general. But flaunt your body, flaunt what you got, and show it off. I ain't hating on it at all in the slightest. But speaking in a logical sense, I feel like it could be more class. The Ari Lennox kind of, that vibe. But
Hustle, how do you feel about it? Any experiences you have with artists, and if you do, share with us.
I feel like it's both. Because females are in their bag, they doing their thing. They've come out and they just making tremendous strides. But at the same time, it's just like the industry's only pushing one type of artist. You kind of see it. You kind of see the sexy reds. You kind of see, like, if you're a female artist and you're like, if I'm trying to make music and I'm trying to really get my name out there, where do I need to start? Even if I make conscious music or I make something a little bit different, you see what everybody else is doing and you kind of feel pressure to adapt to it. So in a sense, you have one image that's being presented, but then you have also, as an artist, you have, what am I trying to do and what am I trying to put out there? So I feel like it's both. Because, looking at it, they've been on top, like, as far as, like, the music is concerned, they've been doing their thing. And they all collab, like, they collab more than the niggas do. And so it's just, they on it and they doing it. They all about their business, so.
So with that being said, do you feel like women can carry hip-hop from here?
I do.
That's
the touchy subject. That's a touchy subject.
Question.
The legendary hip hop creators, bro. It's like, I'm not lying. Like, not by themselves. It needs to be an equality in regards to gender in hip hop. Like, period. I feel like they should be given more respect as women to where they don't have to produce that, that sound.
Right.
Pussy bang, booty hoe.
True.
I'm like, bro, the kids are singing it, bro.
I thought we got away from that.
Kids singing it, bro. I'm like, bro, come on. Not my kids,
Now, we've last time we covered that things in the past probably are a result of the things of today. And a topic that is really touchy and a topic that came up was Irv Gotti and Ashanti. All of us know, if the viewers aren't clear, Irv Gotti, very world-renowned producer, can't take anything from him. Ashanti was his artist at once, and he decided to cross the lines and that most shouldn't really break when dealing with artists and producer relations is starting a relationship. Some things and allegations were said, and to my knowledge, if you're doing a percentage-wise from this time, Ashanti was one of only 7 female artists at that time. every female artist from that time, we're talking percentage, 100% had the exact same experience as Ashanti. Do you think things or the way that female artists had to go through the mud just to get a song out, do you think that is the reason why we have so much of the, how you say, bandstanding? How would you address that?
I mean,
in regards to example, the Irv Gotti and Ashanti situation.
Okay. In regards to it, I feel like it's like a pattern. Like we seen that same thing with, you know, R. Kelly and Ashanti. You know what I'm saying? We seen the same thing, but it was a lot more manipulative of a situation. You know, at this point, I don't mean any way, shape, or form of disrespect when I say I feel like it's kind of a shot for attention, kind of, sort of. You know what I'm saying? Because you made it, and people do whatever it takes to make it. And some people just grind harder than others. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like whatever somebody's willing to do, they shouldn't carry shame in that later. Because she should have very easily could have said, "No, I'm not doing that." Carried on with her life, you know. Because I heard somebody say to me, you know, Troy Kimball said to me, "It's 10 doors of opportunity. Are you gonna open just one?"
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you got 9 other doors of opportunity that you're not accessing, you know what I'm saying? Just because this one person did you bad, now you want to cry about it that you a millionaire?
I feel that. They gave me shit. Also, how do you feel about that?
Man, as a woman, you know you can come in and you can get a lot of opportunities that men can't. Just by being, just by being a woman, you know what I'm saying? And it's niggas that's gonna take advantage of that, say like it's a favor for a favor. Mm-hmm. I make your career, you do something for me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take advantage of that. You know, it's up to your integrity as a person whether you're willing to put your morals on the line for something like that. I mean, as far as like female rappers, I feel like they can rap about anything. Right. Like really, they can talk about anything. They ain't gonna be like, that's sus. They gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? They can say what the fuck ever. If I was female, I'd be saying some crazy ass shit.
Wow.
So do you feel like it doesn't require much talent anymore? And because of that, would you say like hip hop has pretty much watered down because of it?
Yes. Because it is created a standard to where people want to see these songs that are like 1 minute 50 seconds long and nobody ain't saying them.
Yeah.
That's all you get. That's all you get the whole track. But it's jumping. You got the kids doing it. You got grown-ups doing it. Hey, bro, I'm like, the standard is set so low right now that it ain't about what you can do anymore. It's about who you know and what you're willing to do to get to that position. It ain't about the grind no more. And it ain't about your talent, your lyricism. I push conscious street music. You know what I'm saying? In an effort to motivate and feed the soul. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what's hot. I'm gonna have to create a different sound to get people to listen, I feel. But I'm gonna always make what I love.
I feel what Tweezy's saying, and to add to that, I feel like we're in the microwave generation. Everybody wants everything instant. Like before, it was just like, oh man, crazy, dude was fighting, man. You should have been there to see it. It's just like now you can take a picture, take a video, you can upload it, you can see it instantly. So now we're seeing like a lot of how things work. Like it's, I feel like hip hop is oversaturated because everybody can do it. It's really accessible right now. You don't need a label. You don't need a high budget and everything. You can record some stuff from home. So now you're getting everybody who wanted to take a chance. You're getting all of that at the same time. And now it's to the point where it's just so much of it. So I do feel like what Tweezy was saying, and we saying like, you know what I'm saying, it's catch their attention, something catchy, a minute. You know what I'm saying? They don't do 3 verses anymore, just something real quick. But at the same time, only stuff that you make that is timeless is gonna last. You're seeing that. Like you're seeing a lot of TikTok rappers, you're seeing a lot of people who do like quick things. They get their quick 15 minutes of fame and then that's it. Like a lot of newer artists are saying they're having trouble selling out venues. Older artists aren't having any problem. It's because you're making stuff that's trendy versus stuff that's timeless. So it all depends on you.
So from that point, do you feel like there could be a resurgence in hip hop that can save hip hop. Do you feel like hip hop is utterly dead, or do you feel like it might have went to its wayside, had a little deficiencies, but it'll still grow back into the flower that it once was?
I feel personally like if it was more artists that had humble minds, and just like, for example, like J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? And this dude make an effort to like reach out to other artists, but still maintain, like, you've never seen this dude in diamonds and gold and all that, but he's still reaching out to all these other artists that are hot and popping, 21 Savage and Mike Will, and he's creating and producing music for people that he probably wouldn't hop on a track with. You know what I'm saying? But in a urge, I feel like, to create a melting pot for those lo-fi thinkers and those conscious rappers, and the more street and more hype music. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I agree. We're seeing like a lot of people just doing what they heard is hot, and they're trying to do the same thing. And it's just like, if that thing is already out, why do you keep trying to recreate it? It's like everybody's looking for something different, but they're afraid to branch off to stuff that doesn't sound like anything different. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like you want something new, but you don't want to look for anything new. Like, you know, growing up, we had like MTV, VH1 and stuff. You could look on there and you could see like
TRL.
That's dead now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? BET really used to play
MTV rap.
Yeah, they don't.
It's dead, bro.
They don't anymore. It's like you have to find your own artist, and like that artist now has to find their own fan base.
106 & Park still a thing?
You know, and it's funny that you said that. 106 & Park, I feel, gave a renaissance to black talent.
Freestyle Friday.
Sorts. You know, it showcased the thing, and it put it on a circus. And because of that, the people that are in charge of media, most music, I mean, most of your big record labels are owned by certain entities, and they look for certain things, and you notice a trend balance, and they go with it of business. So a thing like 106 & Park will probably never come back, because that was the ground floor for what they would base what we have today. You would see like snippets of the Queen of Diva movement in 106 & Park. You would see, you know, little bits and pieces of that. And now we're in an era to where the top 10 major record labels are now diversified to either black ownership, you got Hispanic ownership, you still have a bit of Jewish ownership. But what people are looking for, and so when we say these artists or these female rappers are doing this, that, and the third, well, really, what is the demand for that? And who is at fault for demanding that? You know, it's like an alcoholic showing up to a bar and complaining that it's full of alcohol. You know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And that's what the time that we're living in. We're coming with the consequences of our actions because we didn't think we had any consequences. And now we have to live through the same thing that others had to live through. You know, when we were growing up, they didn't like some of the music we had coming out. I mean, we had Whoop Rico. Anybody remember that? Whoop Rico and Break His Neck. Bust a nigga head, shoot him up. I mean, we had songs like that forever. So now you have people expressing themselves in a way that you utterly wouldn't do.
Bro, like, speaking on that, I'm going to try and be brief, but like, Hip Hop on Trial, if that's something that you ain't seen, you should check that out. But it talks a lot about people trying to express themselves in their artwork through hip hop. This is poetry. You know what I'm saying? This is poetry that we put over a beat, and we learn to adapt our cadence to that beat to create artwork for people to hear, or mostly me, myself. But you have these people that are hindered because they try and create music that everybody likes to hear, and everybody what street music has become. And so they're hindered from that. Like that, it's dude from No Limit. You know what I'm saying? He got sentenced to 30 years, bro, for rapping something that sounds similar to a crime he didn't do.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He went to prison, did 21 of them 30, and then got out. And, bro, he was hot, bro. He was hot, and he went in, and it's gone. they doing the same thing that like Young Thug and everybody else and.
Free Young Thug, man. Free Thugger. Free Thugger, man.
Free Thug, man, for real, because, Gunna out here doing it, you know what I'm saying, and out here living and enjoying his life, and I feel like Thug deserved the same opportunity, bro, because he just, he was with it, you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Gunna, last episode, we had someone that was able to show a stat that we didn't really utterly know.
Was it about his forehead?
Well, Gunna was the only hip-hop artist on Billboard last year.
Did not know that.
Really?
And as we speak right now, his current album right now is burning the charts.
Okay.
With that being said, can we really say snitches get stitches?
My God, look, hold on. Okay, then
Because lately snitches have got paid. 6ix9ine,
Yeah.
he got out after snitching on an entirely and people a real gang. This is not alleged. This is some real dangerous
straight
people.
up
I'll watch the trial.
This
It was
man
great.
I watched
has
that
gotten
trial
out
too, yeah.
and racked up 30 to 50 million.
And then dropped the album called Tattletale.
Yes.
Sold it.
Gunner so-called, allegedly snitches
You said what?
and gets out and he's now made 15 million. Yes.
120 million off of Tattletale.
120 million.
No, I don't.
I don't think we can actually compare situations.
I don't agree.
6ix9ine, Gunner is all Gunner said was yes ma'am, no ma'am. 6ix9ine said
It was
that
him.
nigga right there.
I decided
Right
to.
there. Him. I know y'all don't know him, but
All
him.
Gunna said was,
It was
I'm affiliated with this
name-dropping.
organization. I'm saying this in an effort to maintain my innocence. And that
So,
was it.
all right, so
That's
with
all he
that,
said, but
let's-
it's snitching regardless.
and try not to switch gears too hard. Speaking of that, we have a situation now dealing with a local artist named Young Star. Allegedly was involved in an incident over the past weekend dealing with the Charleston White.
I in no way, shape,
And I, as a just a civilian, I am interested to hear y'all's thoughts, being also artists from here, how you feel about the situation.
Hold on, bro. Hold on.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, that's fine. And he's correct. We allegedly have Soft Swaka forcing him to make a video apologizing. And so what are your thoughts? And start out on start out on the situation itself and then the aftermath, the apology. How do you feel about that? So, Tweezy, how do you... First the situation, then the apology, yeah.
I feel like Charleston White should have knocked him out. Personally, I don't feel like the pepper spray was necessary because I don't know. He just pop big game. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say every single nigga from Oklahoma's with it, but we some bout it motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Charleston White should have knocked him out, seeing if his jaw was glass or not. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he had that gang be gone. That
Game be gone.
I went and bought me some yesterday. If I would have known this when I was 8,
The scene.
Mace gets rid of gangs. That is a new slogan. You want to get rid of gangs, you get you some good mice.
As far as the situation itself, I had no idea that was Star, bro. Like, I just found that out today. Like, not right now, but today. Like, that was Young Star. You know what I'm saying? But if that should say anything for how little I really seen and noticed this nigga in my state, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even know who he was on camera, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I still feel like Charleston White should have tried him, like, harder than that. I don't, you know.
I mean, he was by himself, and that guy had an entourage, so it was. I mean, it's 1 versus 12. You know, that's a win. Yeah, I mean, for me, that's a win. You know, y'all. If I come up and y'all pepper spray me, fight's over. You know. Put your shit. Hustle.
And before I lost too far train of thought, but yeah, times have changed. Like homie was talking about Dude was locked up for rapping about some shit that sound like he did. Like, what's crazy is this niggas still locked up for selling weed, and we sitting in the dispensary. You know what I'm saying? So times change and everything. But as far as like that situation, I watched like one of the Charleston White interviews before he really, and I really don't know what the fuck that nigga's famous for. But like he be saying the craziest shit, and like this nigga was in here pretty much talking about how like he goes to jobs and he just sits in there and like lets employees tell him shit so he can tell it to HR so he can sue them and then get the money, and then goes back and does the same thing. So it's just like you got to know who you dealing with,
right?
And so like this is the type of nigga who feeds off of that energy and everything. So you're not doing anything but adding more fire. You know, they say you got to fight fire with fire, but I learned when you put fire and fire together, it just makes a bigger flame. And so like, I mean, I can understand, you know, having respect for your favorite rapper, and Nipsey was doing big things and everything, but at the end of the day, you got to know when people are gonna say whatever to try to get under your skin.
Who said what about Nipsey?
Well, allegedly, you know, he said fuck Nipsey and all of that. Charleston White.
But that's the shit he always be talking about.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually a fan of Charleston White. I've done some digging on Charleston White. He's done a lot for the black community. I think that he took what we would call the Andrew Tate approach. He presented himself like a fierce wrestler with a heel, and it got everybody's attention so that he could speak a certain message. And I'm not gonna lie, dealing with the state of African people, you know, people of black melanin in our communities, somebody like that sounds the alarm and shows you that a lot of these people in our community we need to red out. You know, and he talks about that a lot. You know, some of the bad things we have with gangs and I mean, I don't have. I mean, a lot of my friends are gang members, but where I'm from, the order at B is you need to take care of your community and not be a menace to your community. If you're a gang member that's a menace to your community, then yeah, I believe some old black man should be calling the police and locking your ass up. Because you out here killing our kids, you out here making people like you that have something to say, they make it harder for you. They make it harder for you to achieve. They hate on you. The next, you know what I mean, the next corner store shooting, the next, a mass shooting is 4 or more. Well, when you look at places like Chicago, Houston, Mississippi, we out here letting some of these gangs just be actual menaces and not contribute anything to the community. And I remember SWAT's boys. I remember the history of the Crips. I remember these people were taking care of their communities, and that was one of their main models, is to take care of your community.
They've gotten real far away from that.
Exactly. So in that sense, I can respect gangs if they're taking care of the community, but if you're just being a menace, I'm with Charleston White. Your ass need to be out our community or locked up. And I feel like that's what's watering hip hop. And that's the part of what's watering hip hop, is that we have a lot of we have a lot of rappers out here that need to be on Ritalin. Let's be honest. A lot of these rappers need to be on Vibans. Some motherfuckers need help.
I got ADHD, but when it comes to my craft and my artwork, you know, again, I am a gang member. You know what I'm saying? I am a gang member, but I promote conscious street music. And if you listen to my songs like Dead Wrong, where I say I admit things that I've been through in my life, but I'm not taking no gratitude in that, and I'm not here to glorify those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel myself amongst some of the last of the free thinkers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I promote, that LOFT mindset, period. You know? So, I mean, it just because you affiliated in an organization, doesn't mean that you cannot create a brand beyond your turf and put your turf on. That don't mean you got to be something negative and nigga, I kill you, I body. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be that to be for your organization. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
I feel like as black people, we've had a late start, and we're trying to get we trying to make do what we had. We was talking about like how catfish, you know, is slave food, you know what I'm saying? Rip, people don't know barbecue is like that. You know, I had a conversation with my mom. I was like, why are we always eating chitlins at Thanksgiving? She said it's a tradition. I was like, but we don't have to do that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that was what we had to use at the time because that was what they valued us as. It was like throwing us the slops and everything. So now we're in a position, I feel like it's a collective awakening going on and everybody's becoming more aware. Like they used to always say we were the minority. If you look around the world, we're not the minority at all. Like we've been the majority, but the media would have you believe different, and they would have you believe when you see a black person, you got to approach with caution. This is what they're like. You know what I'm saying? You present an image, and all of a sudden that image becomes ingrained.
You're only as violent as you make us.
So with knowing all these factors, I think we can all agree, or I can agree, that hip hop has just evolved. It hasn't died. It just evolved into more worldly things because as black people, we have culture everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
And now we're finally starting to see the imbalance of cultures that come in. So I think we can classify this one as hip hop isn't dead, it's alive and it's breathing. So. It's pure energy. It's everything.
As a matter of fact, I feel as if it's a renaissance and it's a rebirth coming to hip hop. I feel that coming for sure.
So with that being said, y'all, we're about to wrap it up. But I want to stress to people that have been watching on this podcast, we will be doing more entertainment, having artists. I appreciate Hustle coming in. Hopefully we can get him on at least 3 more shows. It depends on his schedule. You know, if you guys are willing, we would love to have you back to have more discussions about entertainment because, as I can see, we got a lot to talk about. And I think as today we've covered on this 3rd edition of the direction of hip hop, I say the direction is probably a blessing and more than so a venture of something that we've never heard, never seen. I think the culture is improving. You know, things have to get bad before they get good, and I think we are finally progressing past the stereotypes that we used to be in. I'm actually proud of some of these women that are out here doing their things, you know. Depending on how they do it, you know, you got to do it how you do it because men had to do the same thing. If you watch the story of Wu-Tang, I think everybody should watch that. So with that wrapping up, man, thank you guys for tuning in to the Blog Talk Radio. I am your host, Van Hill, formerly known as Clutch.
Tweezy29 in the building.
Hustle25, follow me everywhere. Shout out to Tweezy for inviting me and shout out to Clutch for hosting us.
Hey, man, we loved you and we would love to have you again. Until next time, y'all be easy. And remember, do not drink and drive. Finish that shit, then drive.
Finish that shit.